All right, y'all, so we got it all cleaned up except for where the eggmobile sits now. We'll pull the eggmobile forward probably tomorrow, and then we'll come in here and pile the rest of this up. Hopefully y'all can hear me. We've got a strong wind coming out of the northwest, so this camera picks up wind noise a little bit more than the old camera. And what we've done here so far, it really was the easiest part. We have really all over the garden holding both the drip tape and that fabric down. Hundreds and hundreds of these guys. Now, most of them will be caught up in that fabrics, and when I pulled it up and piled it up, those staples would have just pulled up and stayed in there and just folded on in to the pile. However, not all of them would have done that. I found this one laying out, so I know there's going to be probably several dozen others. What we'll do is we'll get a metal detector out here and we'll just sweep the garden and get all these cleaned up. Now, when we get ready to get rid of this pile here, we'll have to go through and pull out all these fittings. We've got two different types of pipe or tubing in there. You've got your drip tape that's got your emitter every, I think these are 12 inches to water your plants. And then you also have the head row or head pipe that runs from the irrigation tanks. So it runs down here, hits these T's and flows downhill here and waters our plants. So we've got this, and then we've got, I think it's 1/4 inch PEX pipe. So there's lots of that, lots of these fittings and lots of these clamps in there. We'll have to go through and get the fittings and the clamps out. Certainly, they're not high dollar, but you know, when you've got 40, 50, 60 of them in there, it adds up. And they can be reused. So we'll get all those out. I will say I toyed with whether to pull a lot of this stuff up and save it. However, once I pulled up this first row here, I noticed that most of this drip tape had nicks and holes in it. Some of it's going to be from the chickens pecking and scratching. Some of it will be from the field mice. The thing about leaving that fabric down this long is that the mice get in underneath of it and burrow. And of course, they come out at night and just nibble everything to pieces. That fabric is, most of it's 3 years old. Some of it will be 2 years old. And certainly after being exposed out here to the UV and the chickens and the mice and whatever else, you know, it's frayed, it's got holes in it, it's seen its better days. So that's going to go to the landfill. Unfortunately, I hate to carry all that to the landfill and not get another use or 2 or 3 or 4 out of it, but it is disposable stuff. Now, I will say, this is, as I plan it anyways, to be the last time we'll use this fabric. Going forward, got some chickens about to escape here. I'm going to have to shoo them back in. Going forward, I hope to take this big brush pile, and the brush pile's back there by the cabin, and I've got brush piles over here and brush piles at the front. I'm probably going to rent one of those big industrial, like heavy-duty Mama Jamma wood mulchers or chippers, and run all that through there, and we're going to lay a sheet of mulch all the way across here. I don't know that we'll do a garden this big. This is 5,000 square feet. That's a big garden, especially for just me trying to do it, you know, 1 or 2 evenings a week and on the weekends all summer long. And it requires a lot of water. We're not connected to public water out here. We're using solar pumps coming up out of a spring. So, you know, water is constantly, during the summer months, a scarcity. And especially with the last couple of summers where it's been super dry and super hot, I've struggled to keep up. One thing I will say too about that fabric, and I'll be glad to see it go, is that with it being as hot as it has been, that black fabric actually radiates heat up. And I've noticed that especially with tomatoes and peppers, and even some of the vining plants, watermelons, pumpkins, that kind of stuff, squash, that heat radiating up off the black burns the bottom leaves, and stuff just dies prematurely. It just simply just burns up. So I think going with the mulch long term is going to be a better option. So what we're going to do tomorrow, we're going to get that eggmobile moved. We did a couple of weeks ago finally get the rest of our meat birds processed, and so our Siskovich chicken tractor is ready to be retired for the winter, so we'll get that put up tomorrow. Y'all hang out, and probably through the magic of editing, it'll be tomorrow.
All right, y'all. So, through the magic of editing, what you just saw is about 2 weeks after the first part of the video. Between work and family things and holidays and the weather and injuries and everything else, we just didn't get to it. I went to get the four-wheeler out to move this thing, and the battery was completely dead and had started corroding up around the connectors. So got a new battery finally. We'll get that installed here today, maybe tomorrow or the next day, hopefully. And I'm gonna tell you what, between the first part of the video where it was sunny and pushing 60, I was in a t-shirt. Yeah, it's sunny, but it's in the mid-20s. It is cold. Yep, that's ice in the water barrel. The drinkers are completely empty because they've frozen right there where they come out of the water barrel and into the cups. I'm hoping with this door open that the sun will hit this barrel and warm this up enough that water will start coming back out. We're going to get down into the single digits overnight the next several nights, and so certainly maintaining water here on this thing is going to be a chore, but it's got to be done. We're also going to do some revamp inside here. 2, maybe 3 videos ago, you saw I put some additional roost bars in there, and they certainly have used them. They took right to them, no problems. But what I've noticed is that there's still a little bit of squabbling and some pecking around for space. So we've got some lumber. We're going to take those old ones out and we're going to redo the inside. Let's do it. In the meantime, I took the drinker out of the chicken tractor and set it up out here and filled it up in the sun, and they've been at it this morning. We'll just have to keep refilling this and breaking the ice loose and refilling it and breaking the ice loose and keep rolling with it. Threw some extra chick feed out, which is a high protein blend. So they're out here getting some breakfast, which keeps the chicken tractor empty for the most part. Bye. Battery's about to die. See if we can get this last one in real quick. Ow, my wrist. All right, we've got our stadium seating arranged in here. We definitely can hold a lot of birds in here now. Certainly more than we could. And we've still got bars over here on the nesting boxes behind the camera that some of them roost on. And up above the roost nest boxes, there's some room up there. Some of them like to sleep up there. So we've got plenty of space now for the birds we've got, and we've actually got more room now to add more birds. So here in the next couple of months, when things start warming up, we'll be adding more birds. Oh, real quick, we still got to get the rest of this landscape fabric and stuff up. Some of it's still stapled down here. Once I got the eggmobile moved from over here, I could come in with the tractor and get all this up. However, I do not have a block heater on the tractor, and with it being as cold as it is, it will not start. So we're gonna have to wait for a warmer day to get this stuff up. Unfortunately, it's just gonna look kind of messy until then. I don't know if you've noticed between a minute ago when I started talking about working the eggmobile and now, we went from sunny and partly cloudy to full-on clouds. Still frigid cold winds coming out of the north up here. We have got low temperatures the next several days, like 20s, mid to upper 20s. I think we'll break 30 one day later in the week, and then we'll be down in the single digits every night for the next 4 or 5 nights. So we've also got a chance of snow. That's going to be interesting. Appreciate y'all joining us. Hope y'all have a great week. We'll see you on the next one.